Hi, hello, welcome or welcome back. I'm Heather, or Miss Polstoid if you're one of my students, and this is Pages with Polstoid. And today we're going to talk about the second banned book that I have read in 2024. Alright, so I have now read 2 for our 24 in 2024 of reading banned books. The second book that I read was The Marrow Thieves. This is by Cherie Dimaline, which I may be pronouncing incorrectly. I apologize. This is a fantastic book. I really enjoyed it. Popping it right here. The book centers on our protagonist, who is Frances, who goes by Frenchie, who at a very young age has basically been running from the government because in this dystopian setting, we're about 100 years in the future, the world has collapsed in on itself. We have environmental impacts that have just destroyed everything. Water supplies and like melted the ice caps. There's tons of things that have gone on. And we're basically looking at a society that has stopped being able to dream. Like, it's a madness that has taken over. In the midst of this dystopian setting and the world collapsing, people stop being able to dream and realize that the indigenous tribes of North America have retained the ability to dream. And they begin research into that, and we are at the point where they are now basically hunting them down and using them in some of the worst ways possible to solve the problem. So Frenchie has basically been told to go north, and you kind of follow his story. It goes back in time and comes back, to the present day. He ends up being found family, literally, for people who are going north, hopefully to find more settlements, find more people, and just run. They're running. It pulls back into the idea of the boarding schools being reconstructed. So horrific past to horrific future. The book is, wow. I loved it. I really did. Some of the reviews didn't care for it because it's a journey story. So the characters run the whole story. Lots of things happen. I mean, it's not just them running, but there is a continual, perpetual movement. They are forever on the run. So The Marrow Thieves is being banned for multiple reasons. Some of the things that were pointed out included references to climate change. It's a futuristic dystopian. Okay. Anti-white, anti-Catholic. Those are kind of the bad guys in the story. I don't think that's a shocker. This is an indigenous own voice dystopian story. Yeah, I think that fits. There is a pretty horrific reference to an off-page SA encounter, and while it may be off-page, you are very well aware of how horrific this situation was. And then finally, we have LGBTQ representation and relationship that is, it's not our main protagonist, but it's a significant character and backstory and situation. So I think all of those reasons are putting it in the crosshairs for being banned. It's fantastic and should definitely top your list. Please check out trigger warnings if you need them on this one. I listened to it on audio and highly recommend. It's actually produced by kind of a company, so there's some sound effects in it, there's some music in it, and the reader does voices fantastic. It was so good. It's a hard story to read. It's YA, so it certainly, it centers a 16-year-old boy for the majority of the story. And I felt like it had an authenticity to it that was sweet at times, difficult at times. I spent some time thinking about my own personal inability to communicate when I was that age, and how there are times in the story where you're like, oh my gosh, just fix the problem, just talk. But he's a 16-year-old boy, and yeah, the culture, the representation. I love dystopian. That is man, that's a go-to for me. Love that genre. But I loved it. I thought it was fantastic, and I can't wait to read the second one. So that's on my list. I don't know if that one's banned, but yeah, really good book. 5 stars. Keep reading. See you on the flip side. Bye.